What's going on, everybody? Just out on the boat. Been thinking about and been talking about how I store soft plastics lately. I put something out on Twitter asking the different ways that people store them, and I know everyone's got their own little routine. Some people don't have a routine at all. And this is what this video is for: how to store anything in your boat bait-wise, but specifically soft plastics. So to set the scene, I used to be a box guy. Every single bag of soft plastics I'd get, I'd take it out and find a little spot, a little slot in one of my hard boxes, and that would be where it was. Whether I had a box of crawl, straight worms, big worms, whatever it was, they were all in boxes. And I grew out of that, started putting them in Ziploc bags and other, bag type storage devices, because I thought that would be my best way. Well, last year when I started doing that, I just felt like I was carrying way more tackle than I used to. I could see that in the boat performance. It was going a little slower. I could see that, I was also messing up a lot of plastics because moisture would get in, and when they're all clumped together, instead of losing one pack of baits or a slot of baits, you lose a whole lot of baits. So I think now in year 3 or 4 or 5, I don't know, I'm pretty OCD about organization. This year I think I found a happy medium to do it both ways, to do it in a box form and a bag form. Like I said, everyone's got their own way of doing it, but in this video I'm going to show you how I store soft plastics specifically, but in general how I store any bait. So hey, looking in this deal right now, I've got 4 different ways that I store bait. So I'm going to pull out, I've got this is a hard box obviously, but I have soft boxes. I got a box, I've got a Ziploc bag, I've got a Bass Mafia Money Bag, and then I've got a Tupperware kind of container, like a shoebox, that I have just bags rubber band together. These are big worms, rubber band together. So also, I've noticed this, everyone's gonna have a different way of doing their organization based on how they fish. I know I've got 4 packs of big worms, I've got 7 packs of drop shot stuff, I've got 7 packs of tubes. It's just the way you fish depends on how you're gonna, maybe what you're gonna put priority on. So I like to flip, I like to fish shallow, I like to swim jig, I like to do all those things. So I'm gonna have baits like crawl style baits, flipping baits that I want. That's gonna be my priority. So I'm gonna put this stuff back. I'm gonna pull out all that in a minute. I'm gonna put that box in there. So I'm gonna jump right here and I'm gonna show y'all what I've came to the conclusion of. So when it comes to my favorite plastics, I've got two ways of doing it, or two different boxes that I really am gonna rely on a lot now. Inside of here, you can actually see, I'll tease this. I got this Plano box. I've got a bunch of different kinds of boxes, but I got this Plano box over the winter. It's got that triple snap deal. I don't know what the specific model or brand is. I can maybe link it below or something, but I did that, and this is my Ozark crankbait box, and it is, to be honest, the cleanest and best box I have. So that is how I've got my crankbaits, and I've got rubber bands on some of them. I was really in a mood to organize, and that's why this box looks as good as it does. But I like the design. I like the 3 clamp deal, and I was like, man, I want one that I can keep chatterbaits in. But I have a whole lot more chatterbaits, and they take up a different kind of space. Like crankbaits take up a lot of space, but chatterbaits take up a different amount of space, but it's still like a bunch, even though it's just a hook and a skirt and a blade. It still seems like you can put a bunch in one compartment, but I wanted to get a deep one because I throw a chatterbait a bunch, so I've got a bunch of chatterbaits. So I got a double, like a deep one. You can see you can see the difference in the two. You can see the difference in the two. This one's a deep one, and that one's just a standard one. So this was something I came to, and basically this is how I do my chatterbait box. So I've got you on the chesty, and this is how I do my box. Got 3 different main colors that I do. I've got my white and chartreuse, my black and blue. Not a huge black and blue guy, but I have a couple in there for when I need them. I've got some other style chatterbaits that I'm not gonna have a bunch of, but I have one at least if I need it. And then I've got my bluegill, my green pumpkin, that kind of color there. So white and chartreuse, black and blue, and then my green pumpkin, my bluegills, that kind of deal. So
3/8 half ounce, 3/8 half ounce, 3/8 half ounce. And you know, I've got some of them in the package. Those are my, you know, a jackhammer that has been opened, but I kept the clear packaging. And then I've got some Thunder Crickets that have been, you know, I haven't opened yet, and I've got them in there. So, you know, I've kind of got it organized a certain way, and I really like that. Worked on that all weekend, and I think I got it dialed in pretty good. So that's my chatterbaits. I've got a bunch of different types of boxes here. I'm gonna put that there. You know, I've got the blade coffin for some spinner baits, maybe some buzz baits. I had a friend, Mark Zona, showed me about putting bladed jigs, chatterbaits in there, but I don't know. I just didn't like how they were so individualized. Like, I'm gonna keep them in their own little slots in here and within their packaging, but they're all in there with them being all lined up in there. That just wasn't for me, but some people have a lot more, some people have a lot less, but that's kind of my thoughts on that. So 2 soft plastics. So like I said, I wanted to do both. I wanted to be a bag guy and I wanted to be a box guy. So two boxes that I do have are going to be my Strike King boxes, I'd say it, and that is going to be I got my black and blues, I've got my black and blues, and then I kind of got a mixture of colors. I got 2 white sections down here. I'm out of one type that I'll explain in just a second, and then I've got my greens, my naturals, my, you know, watermelon flakes, watermelon candies. I got some moon juice, got some bluegill colors. Then I've got some, you know, orange and purple and brown flipping baits right there, rodents, and some, you know, rage craws and game hogs and different things. So that's the way I've kind of got that organized out. I need to get some menaces that are white. I like those for swim jigs as well. I've got some baby rage craws, and then I've got some rage craws. Love this roadkill color. I don't know if y'all can see that real great, but I love that roadkill color. It's kind of a green with a little bit of a smooth, like, goldish to it. It's not really gold, but it's, I don't know how to exactly explain it, but there's that. Like I said, so rodents, rage bugs, rage craws, and then I've got sapphire rage bugs there. I just lost some light in my garage. This is what we're gonna show you live. Let me wave. Hey, there you go. So that was my Strike King box. It's kind of just, it's not like I'm sponsored by anybody, you know, of course not, but it's just baits that I use often. Whether I'm going to use these on the back of a swim jig, like I would a baby rage crawl or a menace, you know, put those on a swim jig, put some of those different things on a buzz bait sometimes instead of a horny toad, and then some baits that I like to flip with, and then also jig trailers. You know, I'll put some of these rage crawls on a jig trailer. So I've got my flipping box there, and I know when I go in there, all these plastics are going to be the same kind of material. They're not going to react weird with each other. They're used to being near each other, which is good. Then I've got kind of my Z-Crawl box. This is the Zoom Z-Crawl. So a bait that I've like really come to love the last few years. Sorry if the lighting's not the best, I'm doing this at dusk. But I've got to put in a couple more baits. I'm low on some. I need some different sizes, but I've got Z-Craws and then Z-Crawl Juniors. You know, I've got the watermelons. You know, they're coinciding. I got watermelon Z-Crawl, watermelon Junior Z-Crawl. I've got green pumpkin Z-Crawl, and then I've got Z-Crawl Junior down here in green pumpkin, and then I've got their huckleberry. You know, I've got different things. And like I said, with the Strike King menace and stuff, this Z-Crawl is going to be great on the back of a swim jig, on the back of a normal jig. I love the Z-Crawl for that. Really puts off a good thump with those. So I'm going to put those in my boxes because they're going to be the ones that I reach to for trailers, for flipping in general. I've got this rigged up on my flipping stick over there right now, actually, the Huckleberry Z-Crawl Junior. So I'm going to fill in a couple more of those slots, but those are going to be my go-tos. They're going to be the ones I grab. So they're my basic grab box. Now I'm going to take you guys into the reason I still need bags, why I still want bags and why I still need bags. So let me just grab a couple of these deals out. Yeah, that'll be good. And then let me see, do I have something else that I want? Sure, we'll do that. So to show y'all why I still need bags and why they're great. Hey, I mean, they're gonna be great for storing mass quantities of stuff. You can see how many bags of baits are in here. But for me, I don't use that much stuff. So having this much stuff in the boat, it just gets unorganized for me sometimes, but this is why I use bags. So in this bag box, so this is my swim bait bag box. This is gonna be the, you know, skinny dippers, Reaction Innovation skinny dippers. You're gonna see, you know, I think I've actually got split tails in here. Just different things that I'm gonna put on the back of, you know, chatterbaits, different things like that. So I've actually got razor shads, and I've got some right over here that I need to put in there. There's my Zaccos, I guess. I think that's how you say it, Zaccos. So all my single swim baits that are not huge, they're going to be in this bag because I've got so many different brands. There's not one specific brand that I use a bunch. I got Kitex right there. You know, I don't use a bunch of a single brand, so I got a bunch of everything. So, you know, more skinny dippers. Got the little Spanky from NetBait, you know, and I've got the Z-Man razor shads, like I said, Gary Yamamoto. So when I have a bait category that I have a bunch of, you know, I've got some Shockwaves here as well. When I've got a bait category that I've got a lot of, swim baits wise, stick worms wise, I'm gonna put them in a money bag, or I'm gonna put them in a Ziploc bag, because hey, I don't know which one I'm gonna use the most. I don't know when I'm gonna use them. So if I have them together, I know at least, hey, this is my swim bait bag. What I need is in here, and I'm gonna do that. You know, now if I threw a bunch of a certain type, might be worth creating a box for. Same thing goes for, these are some, I believe this is my creature bag box. And I've kind of got a couple different, what I would classify as a creature bait. So I've got some destroyers and tomahawks from Missile. You know, I got the Bad Mama, that's a flipping bait, but I'll explain why it's maybe not. It's more of a gliding. These are some gliding baits. When you flip them, they're gonna fall. I got tubes, I've got baby destroyers, just some deals with maybe some appendages, or they glide when I flip them. So they might be a normal flipping bait, and you might wonder why, hey, they're not in my other bag, which contains a lot of flipping baits. That is because they glide. So that's gonna be my kind of bag there. So this is my crawl bag, my flipping bag that has strictly like what I would consider crawls. I know the destroyer is kind of like a crawl. It is to people, but this is my D-bombs. I've got bulk bags of D-bombs. You know, I've got some Berkeley Havoc, you know, I think they're called crawl fatties. You know, I've got some super speed crawls. Got the Christie crawl. You know, I've kind of got a bunch of different varieties of crawls. Got some Z-Man Elastec punch crawls. You know, these are gonna be the baits that I'm gonna probably punch with, probably flip with, but they're cross style lures that don't fit the Z crawl or the Strike King flip. You know, otherwise I'd have a bunch of those too. And I like, okay, so one thing I also like, hey, if you're a Kitech guy, this would probably fit to exactly the same explanation. But hey, Strike King, you know how they come in those clamshells. You know how Kitechs come in those clamshells. That's gonna take up a lot of space in your boat if you got just nothing but bags of clamshells. Yeah, it'll keep them upright and, you know, steady. You could probably put those bags of clamshells in something like this, and it would be awesome because they're gonna just stand up in it. But then also, you know, if you've got 2 or 3 more bags of it, you know, or whatever, you gotta bust them apart, maybe get them to consolidate. It's a little harder to consolidate those because then you gotta be meticulous, making sure they get in the clamshell perfect. So I just take them out of the clamshell, let them live and lay on each other, and they will, they'll work their way out. I'm gonna cover that light up, it's probably pretty bright, but that's kind of how I've kind of gone about doing that. I've also got, I don't have the world's supply of money bags, so I've got a couple. I think I've got 4 or 5. I've got jig trailers in one, I've got crawls, I've got gliding flip baits, I've got stick baits, I've got swim baits. So I've kind of got a couple key categories that I'm gonna have a bunch of. And then these would be, like I've got a Ziploc bag of drop shot baits, and I've got a Ziploc bag of like trick worms. I've got some swamp crawlers right there, straight up normal trick worms. So that's how I like to organize some of these baits. It's not a science, but you can obviously see how I've got, you know, a dozen packs of trick worms in here, different colors, and you know, you never know when you're really going to use them, but I know I've got, hey, it's clear, it says trick worms, maybe I want a quick glance at it, okay, obviously zoom, trick worm, done, okay, wow, pink's right there. If I want to throw methylate or red shad or something, I can also still see it right here. So that's also why I like Ziploc bags. The box deal is going to be really key for me for keeping organized for a day. If I know I'm going to go flipping, that's going to be my deal. I might have an empty box, to be honest. Might have an empty box, or utilize the bags a little differently. I might have a money bag where, hey, I just grab 3 or 4 packs of stick worms, or 2 packs of you know, red shad trick worms that I'm going to use out on the lake. So I can do a couple different things with these bags where I can consolidate. I'm going to take, maybe it's going to be just a small day of plastics. I can take an empty money bag or a Ziploc, and I can put D-bombs, I can put trick worms, and I can put you know, Senkos or something, or stick baits, and I can have them all together. That'll be a good way if you're gonna make a long run. We saw at Winyah Bay for the elites this year, people taking tackle out, doing those different things. That could be a one way it's utilized, but I do know, hey, if I have a bunch of plastics in a bunch of bags up here on the front deck, it's gonna be heavy, it's gonna slow down my boat a little bit, and that's what I'm all about. I like going faster, I like getting to my places a little quicker. You know, so that's going to be important to me. Maybe it's not important to you. Maybe mid 60s is fine with you. If you like going 73, 74, you're going to maybe want to consolidate, because soft plastics will weigh down the boat more than any other thing. You can think about terminal tackle and whatnot, hooks and weights, but soft plastics, I mean, that's, you know, that's 20 pounds right there probably. So that's one reason why I think I really have to consolidate.
You know, another reason why, maybe baits, I like throwing a D-bomb a lot. That's something that I like to throw a lot. Maybe another explanation why I like to keep this is something I left out when I was looking in the boxes, was these have a certain scent, moisture, I don't know what else to call it. They stay wet, you know, so I don't want to put them, you know, they're real, not slimy, but they're slippery. Let's go in. Slippery is a better word for it. They're slippery, they're gonna have some scent, they're gonna have some juice on them. They come in these bags and they live in these bags. Why not keep them in these bags? Because I don't want them drying out. If I put them in a box, they could dry out. If I put them with another kind of plastic, they'll have a reaction. I had some Elastec stuff and I had a normal plastic laying by each other whenever I brought this into the house to organize some stuff. And they were welded together and they kind of were like deteriorating each other. I don't know how that chemical reaction stuff happens, but sometimes mixing plastics is bad. That's why if I'm gonna use a bag, I'm gonna keep different kinds in here, but all in their own packages. It's very important. That's why when I go with the Z-Crawls in the box and the Strike King baits in the box, they're all made of the same material. They're not gonna mess each other up, you know, chemically. So that's how I organize some baits in the boat. If I'm fishing alone, I'll put bags of baits in the back box, the co-angler box, you know, the partner box that, you know, if somebody's fishing with me, that's where their tackle's gonna go. If I'm by myself, I'll put some of that stuff in there, take some weight off the front, take some stuff out of these boxes, and keep them all by themselves. If, you know, if I'm not gonna use them that day, just leave them at home, or I'll leave them in the truck. Just because I think it's important to not have too much going on. I'm a simple guy. I'm one of those guys, hey, it's midsummer, and if I've got a topwater deal and a water willow shallow swim jig deal, I'm gonna leave my big crankbaits at home. And part of me is like, what if you idling into a spot and you see a big, I'm gonna live and die. I'm probably gonna live and die by my game plan. shallow, so it's hard for me to leave them at home because I want them in the box or I want them in the boat, but I'm also going to leave them at home because I'm going to take less off my mind. If they're really not biting shallow and they're strictly offshore, then I'm going to miss the boat, or maybe my partner is going to have a bait I can borrow and I'll owe him later. But I think that that's super important for my mental state out on the water. I don't want too much going on. I don't want too many options. That's why if you see, I've got just a couple rods. In general, I don't have, you know, I would see how many rods are in the rod lockers and stuff. I mean, I've got like 10 rods that I use, and I'll just keep it there. So I got a flipping bait, I got a frog, I've got I got 2 spinning rods, you know, I've got a swim jig. So I've got just a couple different rods that I use, and you know, when you find a rod that you like, get more of it. Don't just start experimenting, getting a bunch of different rods, because it'll only make your tackle selection vary as well. You know, so I'm not gonna have a bunch of stuff going on. That may sound weird to people, but I keep it pretty simple. My approach to fishing, my rod selection, but then also the only thing that I get really crazy with is maybe this bait storage, and that's just because there's so many soft plastics. And my light just turned off again. Gotta move every little bit. So yeah, soft plastic storage is very important. Maximizing speed, maximizing efficiency. That's how I do it. I've got a couple boxes. I might get one more, and if I do, I'll follow up with what I decided to put in that. But flipping baits, jig trailers, flipping or you know, swim jig trailers, things like that. Those are going to be my 2 boxes that I have individualized. Everything else is going to be in a bag. Then I'm going to cater the bag to what I'm doing that day. You know, some of these things will never leave the boat, and then some of these things are season by season. My drop shot baits won't be in the boat until after the spawn. You know, from winter they'll be in there, and then all of a sudden pre-spawn gets here, I'm going to probably take them out, because hey, if I can't all of a sudden rig up half a trick worm and catch one on a drop shot, I don't need all my other drop shot baits. It's not like those are the only ones that work. So that's how I store it. Not just bags, not just boxes, and not just Tupperware containers. I got a mixture of all 3, and I think that this is going to keep me more organized out on the water. Hopefully it does you too. But if you have a better way of storing soft plastics, let me know in the comments. But I do think if you're unsure on how to organize, I've thought about it a lot, I've experimented with it a lot. I think this is the best way for me to do it. And obviously, if you have a smaller boat, if you have a kayak, there's other things, but I think it's important to have a money bag just because of how easy it is to store multiple soft plastics. Let's just say you are kayak fishing, take a money bag. You can put multiple baits in there, keep it water sealed, keep it right beside you. If you've got a 21-foot boat, you can experiment with all 3. If you've got an 18-foot boat, maybe just boxes are your deal. And hey, I've lived it all. I've done all 3 of those stages. Well, not as much kayak fishing, but I've done smaller boats, I've done co-angler for people, and then I've got my own boat. So I've experienced all 3, and I've seen how certain things are good one way, certain good things are good the other way. So this isn't a rule of thumb overall, it's just how I like to store soft plastics. And I hope it helps you stay organized so you can catch more fish on the water. See y'all.